Hey, what's going on, Gemini's? Butch here. I'm going to do your February read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. Always feel free to comment down below. I'm going to be using the Witch's Tarot. And with all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what do we have for Gemini for February 2023? For Gemini. All right, Gemini. So the first thing that I see, Gemini, is I feel like there's someone in your life now. I feel like this is someone that you already know. I mean, we have the Six of Cups. The first thing I see about this person, though, is I feel like there's a lot of chaotic energy between the two of you. I feel like we have that Tower card, but I don't feel like it's necessarily a Tower moment coming. I feel like I feel like we've already been through a few of them. I feel like you guys have such a great connection. Sometimes it seems like it couldn't get any better. But then there's times that it's almost like the worst. I just feel like I feel like there's moments when, like I said, it couldn't get any better. You really see you see something in this person, you see something in this connection. But then there's times it's like, what the hell am I thinking? What am I doing? And I feel like that's on both sides. Now, what I do see is I see a lot of overthinking and a lot of under talking. I feel like the best way that I can explain this, what I see is I feel like we're not talking enough. I feel like this person may even get defensive with you. I feel like when things start getting serious, they kind of resort back to that self-imposed prison. Just when you think you've seen something in this person, you see something coming out, just when you think they're about to say something important, they close off again. And I feel like it pisses you off, and I feel like that's what causes this chaotic energy between the two of you. They resort back to that self-imposed prison. That Nine of Wands, very defensive. And I feel like in those moments is the moments that cause you the most anxiety when it comes to this person. Like, there's nothing worse than investing and then just about ready to get that payoff, and then it seems like it was a bad call. And I feel like it causes a lot of anxiety with you, because I feel like there's so much of you that feels like this is that person for you. But then they go and pull the bullshit again. It's almost like it feels very immature. This whatever they've offered you in the past, and whatever they're offering you, as up to this moment, it seems very unstable, very immature, very kind of very loosey goosey. You know what I mean? It's not really a commitment. It's kind of like just enough to keep you there. With this person, I feel like it's very hard to read them. And I feel like that's part of the reason it annoys the hell out of you as well, because it's like, there's times when this person, there's a very, like I said before, I mean, you have such a great connection with this person. This person is very protective of you. I feel like this person is there when you need them to be, but it's also it's much more than that. And I feel like they think it's enough. You know what I mean? They're very protective of you with that emperor energy. Watching over you, there for you. They understand you, and I feel like that's those moments. It feels like it couldn't get any better. But then why do they resort back to? Why do they get defensive? Why do they put the walls up? Why is this relationship lacking communication? If you mean as much to them as you think you do, why can't they talk to you? And I feel like these are the questions that may run through your head over and over again. And the only answer that I can see here is that I feel like I feel like it's fear. They're afraid of being vulnerable. They're afraid of opening up. They're afraid of opening up and not being enough. I feel like this person has a very confident exterior. And I feel like they are a confident person, but with you, it's a different story. They even see a different side of themselves. They want to reach out and grab you and hold on to you, but then there's moments when they feel like if they just put themselves out there, I like I said, with that overthinking, I feel like they're thinking way too much into this. They're not seeing what's right in front of them with that two of swords. But like I said, they're drawn to you. Every time this may seem like it's over, we have those tower moments. It feels like it's over. They come back. It's because you have something real with this person. You have a very special bond that is not going to go away. With that Two of Cups. And also, I mean, the Eight of Cups in reverse. They don't want to walk away. No matter what they're telling you, no matter what they're, whatever their body language is showing, all those things don't matter at the end of the day, because it's not how they really feel. I just feel like this person's afraid. One of the biggest things I see here, and it kind of ties in with this, the Knight of Cups energy, with that very kind of not really committed but committed energy. I feel like this person wants this so bad, and that's what scares them. I don't feel like they've ever felt a connection like this with anyone. I feel like I said, I feel like this person has always kept things at an arm's length because that's their safe zone. But with you, you keep getting closer to them. Some people react to this differently. Just because there's moments when they feel like they couldn't be any farther from you, they're still thinking about you. They don't want to be with anybody else. They don't want anybody else. It's the overthinking that's killing this. This person is thinking too much and not talking enough. Simple as that. I know it sounds like I'm trying to make this simple, and I know it doesn't sound simple probably when it comes to you, but how this person truly feels, I don't think you've ever seen. I think there's moments when this person comes out of their shell in a big way, but I don't think you've seen how far this goes. There is a balance that you guys share. There's a, um, you give this person balance. And with that Seven of Swords, that's them hiding from you. They're hiding from themselves. I mean, sometimes I feel like the reason why you feel like there's moments when you're really close to this person is because that's when they let their guard down. They let it all go. They're just being themselves. They're just being in the moment. But then they start to overthink it. And that's when shit goes sideways. I feel like this person's they think 10 steps ahead instead of just being in the moment. But the quickest way to lose a Gemini is to cut them off and not talk to them. Leave them hanging without communicating, because if you don't communicate, I mean, Geminis are communicators. They need you to communicate with them. You can think that you're doing enough physically or doing enough for them, but they need you to talk to them. They need to know what's going on in your head. You can't just shut them out, because that's the quickest way to lose one. I mean, this, like I said, I mean, no matter, they keep getting drawn back to you. You keep getting drawn to each other. There's a reason for that. And as long as they ignore that reason, things won't get better. But moving forward, I do see things getting better. I feel like every time there's that chaotic energy, every time there's this fight that you may have with this person, I feel like the distance between fights is further and further. And I feel like it's because they're finally understanding they're exactly where they need to be. And I feel like they're understanding that they need to nurture this connection. Because it only takes so many times before you realize that, okay, there's got to be something here, because I keep coming back. I keep wanting to be with this person. Even when they piss me off, I still want to be with them. And that's what I feel like when you have with this person. It's like there's moments when, you have, maybe an argument or a disagreement. And even though you may be mad at each other, this person will still be the first person to show up for you. This person, even in that mad moment, they will show up for you. They'll be there for you. I feel like you have something that almost everybody's looking for. Obviously there's some people out there that can't handle the back and forth, but for most part, I feel like there's something very special that you have here, and I feel like the sooner that they understand it and the sooner they embrace it, which I do feel like is coming, like I said, with that star card, nurturing the connection, I feel like things are going to get better. I do feel like you're in the same book, you're just on different pages as of right now. But like I said, it's one of those things. I mean, I feel like communication is key, and I feel like that's what's going to really change this connection. I do feel like they're going to open up to you. And I do feel like they're going to understand the value of words and communication. And I feel like when they do that, the one thing I do see is I don't feel like they're going to bullshit you. They're not going to just tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what's true. It's a very blunt, very honest is what I see from this person going forward. It's almost like they're going from one extreme to another. One extreme being, they get defensive, they shut you out, to the next extreme where they're going to open up and continue to be open. And like I said, with the Wheel of Fortune, I feel like you're exactly you're exactly where you need to be, and I feel like things are going to happen in a big way for you. And then we have the Chariot, a lot of forward movement, and the Sun card. We're moving into happiness. I feel like we're getting a lot of the shit out of the way. And that's the thing, too, like, that I see with this connection, that, with some connections over time, we learn to adapt to each other. We learn the ins and outs of each other. But with you and this person, I feel like it's almost like you're getting all that out of the way right away. You're traveling through that rough water now, but then it's on to smooth sailing. It's not just this little mini storms while you're traveling. No two relationships are the same. Like I said, I see a lot of forward movement, and I feel like it's all based on this person being open with you and being very honest. And I feel like it's gonna bridge the gap that you guys have sometimes with each other. And I feel like that, like I said, I feel like we're stepping into a more mature time, and I feel like that's gonna make you very happy. I feel like a lot of happiness, like I said, with the Sun card, and then the emotional fulfillment with the Nine of Cups, and we have that King of Cups, the more mature. I feel like this person's learning the ins and outs. The way I look at this is think of someone that never went to school, and then the first day of school that they actually attend is high school. You know what I mean? That they didn't have the time to learn it all. They're just trying to, it's like a crash course. But they are getting there, and they're getting there for you. They're not able to let you go. And the sooner they understand that, the sooner they'll embrace it. And it sucks sometimes that somebody has to be pushed to the brink. But like I said, every time there's a distance between you, you keep making up that distance. You keep coming back to each other, and there's a reason for that. And that reason may not have been clear up until now, but I feel like that reason is going to be a lot clearer. There's a lot of confirmation coming. And I feel like at the end of the day, you're going to be stronger for it. With that strength card, I feel like you give each other strength, you give each other balance. Even being with the person that's perfect for you isn't always going to be perfect getting there. There's always going to be bumps in the road. I feel like that's all test. The bumps in the road are a test. If you can make it through it, you come out on the other end stronger for it. I feel like we're tested, and I feel like the people that make it through that test are the ones that are meant to be together. I feel like I'm going to finish this for you. We'll do story time in a minute. Like I said, this person, you know what I mean? Like I said, I feel like they felt very loosey-goosey up until now, and that's part of this that's so hard for you to read. But they're not doing it to hurt you. They're not doing it intentionally. I just feel like this person has a lot of trust issues. Trusting someone else enough to open themselves up to them is a big step for this person, but they're gonna make it. And I feel like you've been a rock for this person, and that doesn't go unnoticed. But they'll reciprocate that with being there for you. Like I said, very protective of you, very, very much in love with you. It's simple as that. This person loves you. They're not necessarily sure how to love yet. Like I said, if we're looking at school of love as regular school, this person started in high school and, kind of is getting a crash course. And I feel like that communication is going to, I feel like you're going to build a stronger bond from that. Like I said, I feel like you have a strong bond with this person. I feel like you were meant to meet each other. This was meant to be. And like I said, it's not always going to be easy. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be more than worth it. We have that foundation being built. Now with this person, we have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I'm feeling a little bit of Virgo in there as well. You know, this kind of hits home a little bit, a lot actually. As most of you know, I mean, Rose is a Gemini. You know, my best friend's a Gemini. And they're two very strong. I mean, my best friend, I've been best friends with him since we were 4. We used to live next to each other. We grew up together. We were roommates. You know, I'm the godfather of his kid. He's the godfather of my kid. You know, and it was built over time. You know, we were always connected, but it took me a long time to trust. I build my whole life of trust. If I can't trust you, I can't be around you. You know, I can't let you in my inner circle if I don't trust you. And I had a bad go with women. You know, I trusted the wrong people. And sometimes you want to see the best in people, but sometimes you don't get the best of the person. Then I met Rose. And me and Rose have been through so much shit. So much. I'm not even going to get into it. But every time we ever clashed or had an argument or disagreement or a fight, we always found our way back to each other. And after a while, you know, I just have a hard time of letting people in. And sometimes the ones that, you know, matter most to you in life, like growing up, I never had a lot of love in my life. Like with my family, you know, it's not that my family wasn't caring or I had a really bad childhood. People had way worse than me. I'm not trying to cry about that. That's not griping. That's just facts. My family never said they loved each other. You know, it was never in our household. My parents were divorced when I was 3 months old. There was a lot of hate between the two of them. So I guess I got a bad idea of what relationships were. You know, and my brother and sister are 12 and 10 years older than me, and they went through a lot of shit in relationships. And I seen that. And then you have this idea in your head, and it just gets engraved in your head that you can never be with someone and fully trust them. Because people that's been together for a long time end up breaking up. So it's hard for you to embrace that. You know, sometimes it is hard. And that's where my story was. I never thought I'd ever meet anybody that could handle me. And I feel like with her, it was the same thing. Like, you know, she had a lot of bad breaks in her life as well. And I think that it makes it harder in the beginning, but it makes it stronger in the end. You know, two people can come together and they can fall in love and they can be happily ever after. That's possible. But what me and her we built blood, sweat, and tears. But I wouldn't have it any other way now that I gotten to the top. And like I said, it's some people are just resistant. Some people, like in the beginning of a relationship, I was immature. You know, I feel like we both were. And I feel like there was times that I feel like we intentionally tested each other. We intentionally pushed each other away to see how we'd react. It's almost like, you know, everybody in my life that was good kind of went out of my life, left my life. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't add up. And then when I met her, we were just drawn to each other. Like, no matter how far I am from her, I can't stand not being around her. Or at least knowing where she's at. You know, and it's not a control thing. It absolutely isn't. In the beginning, I tried to control it. You know, I tried to be the controlling one, and I pushed her away. And then I went to the polar opposite. I tried to be the most uncontrolling person. And what I mean by controlling is I don't mean like I told her what she could do and wear and say and all that shit. I just mean in the fact that I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to be the boss. In a relationship, there is no boss. There isn't. You know, there's departments in relationships. There's departments. You know, when it comes to the kids, I give her first. She's the boss. You know, when it comes to other things, I could be the boss. And same as everybody else's relationship. There's departments. You know, think of it as like you know, like a job. You know, there's different departments, and you can be the manager of your department, and they can be the manager of their department. But when you come together, it's one. That's it. You're both working for the greater good. As long as both people are working for the greater good, you're in the right place. But like I said, it's a long road. It was a lot of rocky waters. But it gets to the point when you work through that. And if you can work through that with someone, if you can get through the shit that we went through, you can get through anything. And you come out as stronger. And I'll stop gabbing because I realize it's like 26 minutes now, and I appreciate you listening. But like I said, with this reading, it just hit hard. You know, it's kind of like our story a few years ago. And the reason I'm mentioning that is because if this resonates with you, it does get a lot better. Trust me when I say that. You know, and sometimes you can be the right person and not even know it. You feel it, but some days you may have your reservations. Some days you may have your doubts. But at the end of the day, you'll know. Be good. Thanks for listening. Take care. Stay safe. See you soon.